Senator John McCain is saying that the payroll tax standoff is harming the GOP.
It is harming the Republican Party. It is harming the view, if it's possible, anymore of the American people about Congress. And we got to get this thing resolved.
New CNN polling seems to indicate that McCain is correct. 50% of Americans say that they have more confidence in the president, with only 31% saying that they have more confidence in Republicans in Congress. And so the fair question to ask is this: are Republicans losing the tax issue to President Obama? Let's ask CNN contributors Maria Cardona and Will Kane. Will, the Wall Street Journal says that Republicans are losing the tax issue to the president. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think they're losing the issue because they lost the debate. First of all, they've been painted as the party who's now opposing a tax cut, and even the word cut in and of itself is losing the debate. The Republican Party is for lower taxes, but above and beyond that, it is for economic growth. And a second component to, of course, lower taxes is certainty. And let's just say this: a 2-month payroll tax extension is a joke. It's a Banana Republic-style joke. There is no certainty for any business to set forward any kind of hiring practices or consumers to set forth purchases on a 2-month schedule. But a year's not much better. The Republican Party should be fighting for certainty and, yes, lower taxes, but they've lost both debates, and now they just look like a squad fighting with themselves.
Maria, I want you to weigh in on the Tea Party. I mean, how would you say the Tea Party caucus is impacting this whole debate?
They're the ones who are controlling Speaker Boehner in this. I mean, it was clear as they went into the negotiations and the Senate Republicans thought that they had a deal with Speaker Boehner. Most of them, 90% of senators voted for the tax cut extension for 2 months. When you have Speaker Boehner go back to his Tea Party caucus and they say, there's no way we're going to do this, he has to renege on this. He's lost absolute and total control of the Tea Party caucus, and as a result, the Tea Party caucus is now being seen as the one who is losing this battle to President Obama and the Democrats. But the important thing here, Randy, is that if taxes go up on 160 million Americans, they lose. And I agree with Will that there is, and for a 2-month extension, there's a lot of uncertainty, but there's even more uncertainty if you're a middle-class family who is expecting that tax cut and you don't get it. And that's why the political battle is being won by Obama and the Democrats.
Will, how do you think this is impacting the GOP candidates in the race?
Well, I mean, I guess it's never good for your side of the aisle or your team to be looking at itself as though it can't get along, as though it can't put together a cohesive strategy on how to approach tax cuts. So it's not going to come off well, but I do think in the long haul, this is a tree falling deep, deep, deep in the forest. It doesn't really affect how people will vote, either in the primaries or in November.
Maria, what do you think?
I disagree, especially when you have somebody like Mitt Romney, who's one of the presumed frontrunners, not even being able to take a stand on where he is on the payroll tax cut. And here is somebody who called the payroll tax cut a temporary little Band-Aid. He's somebody who's completely out of touch with the middle class, completely out of touch with what working families are going through. And for somebody like him, who is a millionaire more than 200 times over, this debate is not going to look good for him going into 2012.
Let me just switch topics here, because I want to ask you both just very quickly about this comment by Newt Gingrich. He was at an appearance in Iowa, and somebody in the crowd asked him if they could depend on him and what kind of things they might expect from him and what he might do for the gay and lesbian community. So let's listen to this comment, and then I want to ask you about it.
Well, you engage in every topic except that. I mean,
okay. Except the one that's the most important.
Well, if that's the most important
to
topic
many millions of people.
Well, if that's the most important to you, then you should be for Obama.
So in case you didn't hear it clearly right there, he basically said to him, then you should vote for Obama, if that's your main issue. So, Will, to you first. I mean, what do you make of how he handled that?
I think that clip is a little bit disingenuous, Randy. I don't think it's really true to how that conversation went. It makes Gingrich look really dismissive in that conversation. Essentially, that man came up to Gingrich on a longer clip. You would see this and said that, what do you do if you have somebody who supports basically everything you stand for except for your position on gay marriage? How would I engage you? How should I vote for you? And he said, well, I would love to engage you on any of those topics, but on that one issue, I'm opposed to gay marriage. And if that's the central issue to your voting pattern, if that's the main issue that matters to you, well, then Obama's probably your guy. In fact, I'm no fan of Gingrich, but you have to give him credit for honesty.
He did say, you're right, he said, if this is your issue, this is your big issue, then you should do it,
right.
Then you should vote for Obama. Maria, I'll give you the last word here.
I actually agree with Will on this. And when it was first presented to me, it did seem like he was dismissive, but in the longer cut of it, it actually is that Gingrich is telling him, look, if this is your #1 issue, then you're better off voting for Obama. And to me, that shows some kind of core, some kind of principle, which in the GOP debate right now, if Romney is the person who you're going up against, that's going to help Gingrich because Romney, an apple, has more of a core than he does. So I think this actually helps Gingrich.
Wow. Okay. Oh, well, we will end there. Maria Cardona, Will Kane, thank you very much. That is fair game today.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks.